Morning! Times it's 11. Whatever, we've gotten quite a bit done, right, Mama? Right, baby? Yeah, what is a heart? A baby?
Baby.
A baby in there?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Anyway, Kailani doesn't have her nightie on anymore because she had bananas this morning and mashed them all over her, and they're all in her hair too, right, baby girl? So, but we're gonna take a bath in a few minutes, even though we got one before bed last night. Kailani, no, one thing at a time, and then you put it back when you're done. So, we clean her room, right, Mama? We clean. And now you're gonna mess everything up. Put it back. Cleaned everything. Put everything away. So silly. Now it's gonna get all messy again. But we'll see. We'll see. Where's Kailani? She's gonna get in her car and go drive somewhere, huh? Where you going? Alright. Ta-ta. Adios. So I stopped to go make some lunch. I have it cooking on the stove. Kenny's gonna come home. Took me about 10-15 minutes. I come back. Oh, she's moving now. And she was just sitting back on the chair watching the movie. So cute, baby girl. I love you. Nice outfit. You tired, baby? Well, no nap time yet. We gotta have lunch first, maybe. It's too early for nap time. Too early for nap time. So remember the fire yesterday I was telling you about in the Everglades? Well, turns out there was. Within just a couple miles of us is this crazy, wildfire. And we get them a lot out in the Everglades. It's not rare, but it is a little rare when it's so close. I mean, it's right off of a major highway. You can drive by it, it's that bad. So, anywho, this morning you get up and the cars are full of ashes. It's just a smoky haze outside. It smells like smoke and fire. It's pretty bad, but the worst is seeing like the ash everywhere. It's kind of weird. But, anywho, I wanted to take her to the park or the pool or something, but that's not going to happen. It's just way too smoky out there. Don't want to be breathing all that in. So hopefully we'll pray for a little later nap than usual, so that way later on today she's not so crazy without getting out of the house. I don't know. We may go to the grocery store later, but we'll see. Because I only need a couple things. I don't absolutely have to go. It can wait till tomorrow, so we'll see. Look at this. She's flipped that table completely over. What are you eating, baby? Chicken?
No.
Yummy? Okay. Chew and swallow good, okay? Mm-hmm. So, I made some yellow rice. Just some grilled chicken breast and the leftover lentils that I made the other day, which these lentils, I know I mentioned the other day, but if you didn't see it, I'm starting a cooking channel on YouTube. So in the next couple weeks it'll be up, and I'm definitely putting that lentil recipe. I don't know if you've ever had like Latin, like Spanish lentils, but they are so delicious. So anywho, keep a lookout for that. I'll let you guys know when I put it up. But yeah. So we're having for lunch, right, baby girl? And we're still working on that sauce. Remember that I made from my leftover onions and stuff? I put it right here on my chicken. My plate always looks like so much food, and it's really not. It's like a scoop of rice, a scoop of lentils, and a scoop of chicken. Anywho, we're almost done with the onion sauce. I think Kenny will probably polish the rest of that off when he gets home for lunch and put it over his food, and it'll be done. But it's just an example, like the onion and the tomato would have gone bad in the fridge, but this way I made a delicious, healthy sauce out of it that I pour right over meat and stuff, and it tastes so yummy. So Give it a try, guys. So miserable right now. Our air conditioner is broken. I want to shoot myself. I feel like this happens every single year. In South Florida, it's literally impossible to live without air conditioner. Like, I'm really gonna cry right now. It's impossible. It gets so hot and humid. And then inside the house, I mean, it's just terrible. Terrible. And like all of a sudden, out of nowhere today, I could just feel the air being pushed out of the air vent. And it was just warm air. It wasn't cool at all. And so I called the service company that we have here, and nobody can come out until tomorrow between 2 and 6. So it's gonna be such an uncomfortable night of sleeping. It just sounds ridiculous. I know I want to cry over it, but you just don't understand how bad it is. I leave my air conditioner low, you know. I always have it at like 73 during the day, and at night I have to put it down to like 69. I just want to cry. Morning. The AC is still broken. I cried last night. They're supposed to be coming out today between 2 and 6, so can't wait for them to get here. In the meantime, we're trying to figure out what to make for breakfast because we're not trying to like cook and produce a lot of heat. So
I should post this.
sucks.
Take a snapshot of it. And this is why I love my job.
Yeah. Kenny is so excited. He had a client that just texted him.
Say wrong, something like that.
Okay, what did he say?
Excuse me?
Tell us what he said. Well,
He said, you did an excellent job yesterday cutting my hair. My wife was like, that the barber used a knife because you're looking sharp.
so silly. That is pretty cool though. Good compliment. Howdy. So I'm back from work. It's hot as hell in this house. It is so hot. I hate it. Anyway, the AC guy's supposed to be here between 2 and 6, and it's 2:05. So hopefully I'll be hearing from him shortly that he's on his way or something. It's terrible. We can't cook anything. I'm supposed to have my family over for dinner tonight. That's like on the fence because until we know if the AC is going to be fixed, I don't know if they're going to come or I'm going to have them, because I'm not going to produce more heat by cooking in the kitchen. So, and I was going to make a whole big, Cuban dish, arroz con pollo, but no way am I going to sleep sweating making that. So anyway, so we'll see if that still happens. Anyway, so for now I did boil up some water to make some of this mac and cheese. I'm having a sweet leaf tea. That's lunch right now. I just made Kailani a smoothie. I don't know if you guys can see her, poor thing. You can tell she's been getting so hot. So I just made her a smoothie with some frozen bananas that I sliced up because they were going bad. So I sliced them up and put them in the freezer. Look at her. She's so messy, but she probably feels so good. Put her in front of the vent, that air vent there. It's blowing warm air, but at least it's blowing some air so she can stay cool. But yeah, some frozen bananas and frozen strawberries. I put in a blender with some water for her. Yummy, baby? Needless to say, the bath after that's going to be exciting. Oh, crazy day. Chester, what are you doing? He was just like standing by the door staring at me. So, total chaos with this air conditioning problem. 1 second. I sent Kenny to the grocery store with a list, and I get a phone call or a text every 2 minutes questioning one of the things on the list. Anywho, so, we rent here where we're at. We rent from a private renter. He owns the place. And we he has like a service contract with like a service company, and I call them if anything happens. We've only lived here a few months, and so I've only had to call them for like one thing, like the disposal underneath the sink just literally came apart, like it fell open. And we had an insulation problem around the front door, so air was leaking out, so my power bill was just insane. So I've only had to call for two things. I've had a horrible experience with them as a customer. I told my landlord about it, blah, blah, whatever. Then I call them to come out for the AC, and it broke yesterday afternoon, and I call, and the first they could get out here is today, the following day, between 2 and 6. So the guy comes out here, and the compressor, the outdoor fan, is up on the roof. So he goes up on the roof to check it, does all this, comes inside, checks the handler in the closet, measures, does this, does that. And then he says to me, so there's quite a few things wrong. The coil's shot, there's a leak here, there's this and that wrong. But none of this is covered under your landlord's service contract, so I'm gonna have to call my office. They're gonna call your landlord, and then when he okays it, then we'll come back and fix it. So it's in the landlord's hands right now. And I'm like, no, then let me call him and give you the okay right now to fix it. And he's like, well, then I'll still have to order the part. Like, it was just one excuse after the other, and I got so upset. And I told the guy that was standing here from the service company, I said, I have a small child. I can't be days with heat like this. Like, in South Florida, guys, if you've never been here, I mean, the heat and humidity is insane. You have to have central air conditioning in your home. You just have to, especially if you have a young child. You cannot be without it. I mean, the temperatures climb up into the 90s and early hundreds with humidity that's out of this world. I wouldn't wish it upon anybody. It's torture. So he stood right here in my face and watched me say to him, I have a small child. I cannot go days without an air conditioner. I can't do that. He's like, well, I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do. I said, so basically my landlord's going to have to pay out of pocket. He goes, yeah. I said, okay, fine. I'm going to call him and make him get somebody else out here then that'll do it today. And, and made him leave. I was so upset. I called my landlord and I said, this is just unacceptable. I don't have 3 days to wait. Kenny's calling. I don't have 3 days to wait. I have a child and this and that. And, it needs to get taken care of today. This is ridiculous. I hate, like, my pet peeve in life is an AC going out. And somehow it happens to me every single year of my life. Right at summertime, it goes out. It doesn't go out in the winter when we can leave the windows open. It goes during the summer. So, anyway, I was just so pissed at the guy, and he's like, well, I'm going to have to call it into the office, like I said, and then they're going to call your landlord. I'm like, you guys can't just be leisurely like this. And he's like, here's her number. You can just give her a call tomorrow. She should have the info. No, give her a call tomorrow. I'm going to be dying overnight. Hang on. We don't have time for you to just, your people at your office to just call the landlord when it's convenient for them, and then the landlord say okay, and then you order the part and it takes days to get here. I'm not gonna sit in my house full of humid heat like that. Are you crazy? No, it needs to be fixed now. Again, I have a small child. Well, he didn't care. He didn't give a shit. So I called the landlord, not acceptable, blah, 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 like I was saying. And he said, okay, I'm sending someone else out right now. And that's one thing about my landlord. He's on top of things. He's very prompt. If I call with an issue above the service company, he's right away out here. He's a really nice guy. And so he sent this other guy out, and he tells me, he goes, I'm sending this guy out. I trust him. He's done work for me plenty of times. He's a good guy. And I trust him a lot. He'll have you taken care of for tonight at least, if anything, and he'll come out and replace whatever needs to be replaced tomorrow, but he'll have the AC working for you overnight. And I said, okay, perfect. So he goes, and also don't tell him that somebody else came out. I want to hear what he has to say. So I was like, that's perfect. So we can see if this company, the service company, is taking him for a ride. Sure enough, he comes, he goes up to the thing, he comes back in, he's like, it's working? And I was like, it is? And because I didn't notice in 2 minutes, he goes, yeah, come feel. So I go feel the air coming out of the vent, and nice and cool. I was like, oh my gosh, thank God. 20 minutes it took him, 20 minutes. He goes, yeah, he goes, the initial problem is you just needed the Freon refilled. He goes, was somebody else here before me? And I was like, oh, great. You know, the landlord tells me not to tell him, but now he asks, you know, what do I say? So I said, I don't think so. I called landlord, and he said, you know, that you were going to come out. And he's like, well, somebody was up there before me because the wires were cut and it was done on purpose. And I was like, what? He said, yeah, when I opened up the compressor, the wires were cut and it was a clean cut. They did it on purpose, whoever it was. So if he had another company out here before me or something, they cut those wires on purpose. He goes, but anyway, so I redid the wires, I replaced the wires, and I filled the Freon. So now you're good to go and it's all done. And I said, okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Blah, blah. So I called my landlord after, and he's like, this is unbelievable. He had already spoken to this AC guy. He's like, I knew it. He's like, I can't wait to get on the phone with these people tomorrow. But anyway, can you believe that? This company was doing that so they were trying, in the end, what they were trying to do with my landlord is have him pay for a whole new compressor. They were gonna replace the entire compressor when this guy knew that all it needed was Freon. And this guy cut the wires up there to prevent the AC from working at all. Until they could order it and whatever. They were basically trying to push this guy into a corner to where he was forced to replace the compressor through them. And I sat here and this man stared at me straight in the eye while I said, I have a small child, I cannot have the AC not working. And it was like no big deal. Can you believe that? I am just like livid over it. I mean, I just cannot even believe this guy. So whatever, the AC's cooling now, that's all I'm concerned about. I'm cooking. I mean, it is so nice. You just have no idea. It is so nice walking in a room. It's nice and chilly. And Kailani's room has the best airflow because the vent is on the right at the handler unit. So it pushes the air the strongest into her room, and it is so lovely. Oh my gosh, so nice. Anyway, so wanted to share that with you guys. So our AC's fixed now. I'm so thankful for the landlord that we have. He doesn't jerk me around. He's a great guy. So now I'm starting to make dinner. I'm waiting for Kenny to get home. He's going to do these dishes for me. I hate doing dishes before I cook. Once I'm done with the dishes, then I won't want to cook. So he's going to do the dishes. But in the meantime, I'm making ají, which is the thing I was telling you about last week, is the Colombian sauce. And it's basically just cilantro, scallions, and a tomato, and you can also throw like a little pepper in. You could put like a habanero, a scotch bonnet, a jalapeno, whatever level of spiciness that you like. And then some people just do lime or lemon juice with some olive oil. I'm going to do vinegar and some salt, and that's it. But this is like leftover stuff. You can see the scallions are starting to wilt a little, but it's still great for this sauce. The cilantro was starting to turn a little brown right in here. I had to remove a little bit of a chunk, but nothing too crazy that I can't use it. This is definitely usable. So since it was about to go bad in the fridge, I'm like, perfect time to make some ají. So that is what I'm doing now. Typically ají, you have to sit here with a knife and you just chop everything very small. That's how the Colombians do it. They still do it like that, because if you just throw it all in a food processor or a blender, it is not the same. And I've tried it and I can tell you it's true. It's not the same, but I have found a way around it. If you put your cheese grating blade at the top of the food processor and you feed everything through the mouth of the food processor, then it comes out as if you had chopped it all on the cutting board. Not so much of like a puree, because it's all chopped. You don't puree it when you chop it on a cutting board, you know? So, but when it's all pureed, the flavors mesh too much together and then you lose the flavor of a true ají. So everything still needs to be separated. So if you do it through the shredder, it sort of shreds everything instead of pulsating everything, and you still have that chopped effect and all the juices still drip down. So it's yummy. I'll show you guys when I'm done. So dinner's ready. Kenny, we are watching our Miami Heat play in the finals. Kenny's so excited. It's on a commercial right now. And dinner is ready. I made the ají. This is it when it's done, guys. It's just like a chunky sauce, and the liquid in there is the juice from the tomato and some vinegar, olive oil. These are some little like tacos that I made. It's flour tortillas with the ground chicken that I just seasoned like Spanish style with a Monterey Jack cheese, and they are like, I just pan fried them in a little oil. I didn't like deep fry them. And I put the cheese and the meat in there, and then you were dipping it in the sauce. And then over here, this is a Peruvian thing, and it's called papa a la huancaína, and this is a huancaína sauce, and it's like a Peruvian cheese sauce with spicy peppers. It's delicious. And then these are just boiled potatoes and eggs sliced up, and you just pour the sauce over them. But I'm serving it like that so we can just individually pour our sauce, because so many times I have poured the sauce over the whole plate and then we don't eat that whole entire plate, and then it's not the same once the sauce is already on it. You have to do the sauce fresh, so it goes bad and a whole thing. So yeah, so we're gonna eat. Babe, how's dinner?
Delicious.
Awesome. All right, the little one's at our mother-in-law's, so, or my mother-in-law's, his mom, so it's just us tonight. And Chester, he's in the kitchen eating. Can't believe the Heat are losing in the second quarter. 41-28, San Antonio. What is going on?